What's up, everyone? So today I'm going to be talking through a Spires 18 run that I did. It's pretty much a full pug, no Discord. We didn't actually end up timing it. We missed it by like 33-ish seconds, I believe. So that kind of sucks, but I just want to kind of talk through how I use my cooldowns, what packs, and try to get like maximum efficiency and get like the most damage that I can in a dungeon. I've gotten a lot of questions about how to do damage as Warlock and Mythic Plus. Um, and I just kind of want to talk through my thought process and how I manage my cooldowns. So we're going to be playing this at 2x speed just so it's not like a 50-minute video. But yeah, so here we are just starting. So here, right after the start, it was kind of scuffed because I wanted to grab that golem, but our tank didn't really want to. But then we ended up grabbing it anyways, so that was kind of unfortunate. I would have put my Phantom Singularity and Soul Rot on the Golem here if I knew we were gonna pull it, but we ended up pulling it anyways. So just use our cooldowns here. As you can see on the left side, I have my raid cooldowns. I always like to track my other DPS's cooldowns and when they're up and such. That way I can kind of plan around when I use mine. You don't really, in general, you don't really want to overlap cooldowns. You don't want to have everyone use everything at the start. Like a start of one trash pack and then you go to the next pack and you have nothing left. So I kind of like to space it out. You know, sometimes I'll hold it for 30 seconds or so just so I can get really good value out of them. And that's kind of how I play, specifically when I play with like a hunter and a mage. Mage pretty much always has it, but hunter and boomkins and such, like they have 2 minutes and 3 minutes, so just kind of like spreading it out so that way packs move faster. So here we're just kind of cleaning up our Spitefuls. For Spiteful, it's actually a really good affix for lock because you can always get 5 shards. You can see like I got 5 shards before flying away here, but unfortunately they go away because of the RP. But in general, you can always go into packs of 5 shards just by like sniping Spitefuls as you're kiting towards the next pack. Um, so here I target the Goliath. I pop all my cooldowns on it because I know it's the thing that needs to die here. So I pop my Soul Rot, Phantom Singularity, Dark Glare, everything on it. Here our Pride timing was actually messed up for some reason. I think we were supposed to keep that Mender CC'd, but broke it anyways, and it's whatever. But ended up working okay. On Pridefuls, if I don't have my 3 minute to 2 minute cooldowns, I always want to at least have a Phantom Singularity or a Soul Rot Phantom Singularity combo for it. In this case, like my Soul Rot wasn't up for like 15 more seconds, so I figured the Pride would be dead by then if I just didn't pop anything. So I just used a Phantom Singularity. So going in the first boss, not really much to talk about. Don't have any cooldowns really besides my Soul Rot Trinket, Phantom Singularity. Kind of pop that, and just pound on the boss. On this boss, I try to maintain 2-target Shadow's Embrace with the 3 stacks, since they share health. Just to have like that extra dot tick damage. You can see like I'm kind of like cycling between the two, waiting for my Phantom Singularity to come up. And I'm gonna be saving my Dark Glare and such for the next pack. Like the time that comes off the boss to be dead here, so even if the boss was still alive for another 10% or so, I would still just keep it. It's not worth using it. Boss died pretty quick. So always, I open with a stun here just to keep them all together so our tank can kite a little bit. Agony, everything. UA, haunt, everything. Just kind of blow this pack up. As you can see on the left, like our hunter didn't have cooldowns here, so that's why I used mine. Like I said, mage pretty much always has it. It's like a 1-ish minute cooldown they're fireballing, so they almost always have it. But on our next big pack, I know the hunter will kind of carry us in damage with, so that's why I kind of popped mine there. We also made a mistake here. I think killing this pack was really just kind of messed up our dungeon. I think our tank decided to like swap sides midway through. You can see like we're running here, and then our tank jumps like the other way. So that was like pretty confusing. So we ended up like overpulling, I think, and messing up pride timers and such. So you can see our run was kind of a fiesta throughout throughout it. So here I'm just kind of like rarely doing damage, just kind of like dotting everything and waiting for the next pack. I held my Soul Rot and Phantom Singularity since our hunter used Wild Spirits there. I actually fucked up here and I actually targeted the CC'd mob by accident. But I think it ended up being okay. I just popped cooldowns on the squad leader, which is what I was planning to do anyways. Eating frontal cleaves like it's my job. But yeah, so like this is kind of what I was saying with our pride timers being really messed up because we pulled extra. So this was just like really awkward and not expected at all. It was like really messed up. Then I get a shade spawn on me. It's really awkward. But we kind of clean it up here. We end up wiping to the pride just because it's like too much damage. So we call for a reset just to reset the stacks. But our tank took a while to die here, unfortunately, because DHs are cheat death and such. So we're literally just waiting for our tank to die. Because when you're resetting prides, the stacks on the damage will reset. But the health never resets, so if you think you're gonna wipe and it's like you pretty much just want to do as much damage as you can to it, wipe, reset fully, and then come back to it afterwards. So I won't have my dark layer for the next pack here. Just fine since it's just these yield dragon things, so just gonna kill these. And in the next pack I'm just gonna focus the squad leader down with everything. Gotta talk about talents, but I'm running Haunts and Phantom Singularity, which is pretty much full single target. There are a lot of different builds you can use right now for lock. You can use 2-minute Dark Lair and Vile Taint, or you can use like Vile Taint, Haunt with Corrupting Leer as a conduit. So there's a lot of different options, but my preferred playstyle is pretty much just the single target here. See, this shade is chasing me for forever. Just gonna blink past him. Just finishing up this pack here. But yeah, my role in this dungeon is to kind of kill the bigger mobs, like the squad leaders and the golems, the bosses, and to kind of just use my 3-minute cooldowns when other people do not have cooldowns. And that's kind of the best way I've found to play Warlock in Mythic Plus, because we don't have that big upfront burst AoE. So I just kind of fill in when there's no other damage happening, right? So for our next pull, our mage will have Combust, a hunter will have True Shot and Wild Spirit, so it's fine that my Dark Lair is down, right? So it's going to be another scuffed pull, I believe, because we get a pride pretty much right away because we're over percent right now. I believe that's what happens. I think we have like 2 or 3 mobs extra with a pride, which is not ideal. So I'm trying to kill these evenly here just so like they're all like when the pride spawns will be okay, but didn't end up happening that way. So here I just make the decision to use my Dark Lair on the Pride, and my cooldowns on the Pride, even though I didn't have everything up, just to try to like save this pull. In general, I will actually use my Dark Lair on the Pridefuls sometimes, if our mage doesn't have Combust up right away, just so we can kind of push through it faster and make sure like we don't die. So I was told to just release here because I thought we were gonna wipe. I think the only person that survived this was actually our healer. So our healer survived and actually ended up killing it, which was unexpected. So bit unfortunate we didn't get that pride buff there. But yeah, I guess the most important thing I'd say Mythic Plus is definitely knowing what route you're gonna take. As you can see, if you don't know specific route, this kind of happens where it's just kind of a mess. But so I don't have cooldowns going in this pool, don't have pride, but I'm gonna kill the squad leader here anyways. So I seed, haunt, UA, get my agonies out, drain my 3 stacks, and I just pump into the squad leader. You can see it goes down pretty quick, even though I don't have my cooldowns. I'm still doing 14k DPS. So without cooldowns or pride buff, still just absolutely destroy the squad leader there. I'm always trying to drain mobs as they're dying too. Also, just so we have more shards going into the next packs. So if there's still like extra mobs left over, you can always drain them, or Spitefuls for this affix. You can always drain them and UA them and such, because they'll eventually die. So get shards off of them when they're pretty low. I'm here just killing the Goliath, not really popping anything. Next pack is when I pop my cooldowns. We have Combust and Wild Spirit, so I think we pop everything here actually. Just because this pack is like not fun. So wait till everything's grouped up. And then just blast down the squad leader. Now, in hindsight, our hunter probably should have saved cooldowns here. I could have said, like, I'll cooldown this, but yeah, it's really awkward that we missed the Stealth Claw also here, so we kind of have that with the Pride. Yeah, that was just really awkward. Luckily, our mage has Combust, though, so we should be okay here. So on Prides, I almost always want to use my Soul Rot Phantom Singularity, or one or the other, whichever's up, just to push it a little bit quicker. You can see I'm just draining that for some extra shards. Don't have my Dark Lair up or anything for this one, but since I have the Prideful buff, you just kind of want to spam your Raptures. Even when your Phantom Singularity ends, because the damage buff is just so good. Like, you won't get 2 Phantom Singularities, but you can get one Soul Rot Phantom Singularity window in. Boss just dodging. So kind of like my tip, I guess, for this boss would be to just kind of do what I'm doing, just kind of always looking at the balls, right? I'm not even looking at my dot timers or anything, or the boss or anything. I'm literally just looking at where the ball spawns, so that way it's impossible to get hit, right? So boss dies pretty quick. It's pretty easy to kill. We just lusted it anyways, so. So for our next pull, I'm gonna have cooldowns, and our mage gonna have combust up. Our hunter will not have his stuff up, but I believe this is actually the 1 pack. Yeah, it's just a 1 pack. So I think I end up saving all my cooldowns here for the boss. I think that's what I decided to do. Because the third boss takes a really long time since he has so much health. I always want to make sure I have cooldowns up for the phase where he takes extra damage when he's like soaking the orbs and such. So we don't really pull any packs here. Just UA that. Get an extra shard back. There's a little gateway skip you can do here if you don't have a way to skip with the sap or whatever. Just kind of gateway on that ledge. Here we definitely messed up. We wanted to invis. I didn't have my invis pot on cooldown, but then no one ended up invising, and we all just kind of like died. So this is really awkward. Normally you either want to invis or you all want to be stacked up on your tank. So that way he kind of takes like the most hits because these things will like two-shot you on higher key levels. So yeah, this is like not a great pull. Even though we were fine on time here, I think. But it's just kind of like they're just through the rest of the dungeon, like we just kind of messed up. But we res here and go into the boss, I believe. Or we actually pull the other usurper packs before we hit the boss. So, or did we do it after? No, we did it after. Okay, so we're gonna kill the boss here, and then we're gonna do the other usurper pack, and then we'll head upstairs. So here, I'm just kind of saving everything for the phase where he takes extra damage. Like I said before, because otherwise he takes forever to kill. Just kind of draining, spending a few shards. I kept getting hit with the blast here, so I'm popping my defensives. I have Dark Pack in this dungeon. It's just a lot of stuff that hits pretty hard. So I Dark Pack one, and then I use my Unending Resolve in the second. So the orbs come out, and that's when I pop all my cooldowns. I pop Pot, Dark Glare, Dark Soul, everything, and just try to like burn this boss. And even though we used all our cooldowns there, he's still at like 30%. So this boss just has so much health, takes a bit. So it's always best to kind of save stuff for him, especially on Tyrannical Weeks. Tyrannical Weeks. This is like a 4-minute fight, so you usually get 2 phases. So I'm just popping shit here, just killing them. And then we're gonna go pull the other usurper pack for percent. So this pack is much easier to pull because you can just taunt them and they all come here, but stun them here, just to make sure they don't all cast at once. So for this 3-pack up here, it's kind of like one of the most important parts of the dungeon. These things hit really hard. You pretty much want to pop everything here. You want to pop Lust on the third one. You want to have a Spear for the third one. You're going to use your cooldowns on the first one, usually, because they'll be up when you pull it. So you always want to use either cooldowns on the first or the second one, and then you'll have Lust and the Spear for the third one. So here, pop my Soul Rot, Phantom Singularity, Dark Glare, everything. Just kind of kill this as quickly as we can. So even though like we pop cooldowns here, me and the mage still taking up quite a bit. So our hunter will have Wild Spirits and True Shot for the next one. See, I just drained that for an extra shard here. I'm gonna use my Soul Rot and my Phantom Singularity on this one too, because I know it's gonna be quite a bit before we kill it. So these spears are like really annoying to dodge. It's best to kind of like find a spot that's safe until a next spear drops. So you kind of find a safe spot, stand there for a little bit. When another spear gets thrown, then you find another safe spot. So really just annoying animations on those packs. So here we Lust, Soul Rot, Phantom Singularity. I even potted this just so we kill it fast. We don't really need pot or anything for the boss because it phases every 33% or so, so really just killing this is what might just wipe your group. So we're gonna get Pride here. I actually debated cooldowns for this Pride. Our mage was combusting, so that's why I ultimately ended up saving it for the boss, but if no one had cooldowns there, I would definitely cooldown there for the Pride, just to speed it up and we can get into boss. So here, just like normal single target rotation, opening with my dots, my Dark Lair, just pushing it. I can see we got about 2 minutes left on the timer. This boss just takes a little bit, unfortunately, so that's why we ended up being like 30 seconds over, just because the phasing and such. But yeah, we definitely would have timed this if our Pride timings were better. We made like a lot of mistakes, but that's what happens in a full bug group, so it's all good. So here I always put my port down right next to the spear thing, so that way, like, if there are far out ones, I can go grab them, teleport back, and then like night fake, grab a second one if people are slacking and not grabbing their orbs. So here I just popped my Dark Soul just to do extra damage in this phase because I'm trying to like kill the boss before the timer, but it's not gonna happen because like I said before, the phasing. So I just keep DPSing. I always refresh my Agony and UA on her as she's about to jump away. That way when she lands, she'll still have Agony and UA on her. And on this fight, I always keep my Imp out. And I can dispel 1 stack of that debuff every time. So, as you can see, we kill her here. And we are 37 seconds over, unfortunately. So, yeah, that's kind of my run through of our Spires 18 run. You can see I did really good damage here at the end. I did about 10.5 mil, 5.3k DPS. So when it comes to DPS in a dungeon, I wouldn't really compare number-wise. I would compare it to your group. And what I mean by that is every Mythic Plus dungeon you're going to pull differently. And your tank's going to be different, your group comp's going to be different, everything's going to be different. So really just maximizing your cooldown usage when your other DPS don't have their cooldowns up is really important. And also filling in what your group needs, right? So here we have a hunter and a mage, so I know, our single target is going to be kind of lacking because they're going to be doing a lot of their cooldowns on big AoE packs. So that's why I chose to go single target build. Depending on the dungeon, depending on your group comp, you can run Vile Taint 2-minute cooldown on Dark Lair. You can run Haunt with Corrupting Leer in Vile Taint. There's a lot of options you can do. I just prefer the single target playstyle, so you kind of can choose whatever works best for you, and whatever you feel best that you're best at and what best playing with. But Warlock is definitely pretty good in keys right now, and hopefully this is helpful in me kind of going through in a hierarchy like how I plan my cooldown usage. So you pretty much want to use them on cooldown when you can get the most value. If you aren't going to get value, say the pack's at like 40%, and your cooldown's coming up, just save it for the next bigger pack, or don't be scared to use it on Pridefuls either, because Pridefuls are scary the higher the keys you go, so having a cooldown for that, at least one DPS using their cooldown on it, is pretty important just for speed and safety reasons, so that way, like, you won't wipe like 3 times like we did. So hopefully this is helpful. Getting a lot of questions about Mythic Plus, so just let me know what you guys think. How do you guys do Mythic Plus? Any questions or comments, just let me know. Definitely respond to everything. So yeah, hopefully this is helpful and brought some value to everyone. Thanks for watching.